Hey everybody, I'm Dave Townsend. I'm a realtor here in Middle Tennessee, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you guys about listing your house this year in 2024. Is it actually a good year to do that? And so I'm not going to bury the lead or anything. I believe it is. I believe there's a lot of factors that make it a very favorable market for home sellers in our area. And let's go through those one at a time, and that way you can make a very informed decision as to whether or not you want to list your house this year. So one of the main reasons why it's a good time to sell here in Tennessee is the lack of inventory. We are having a shortage of homes in almost every price point. It is very hard to find homes for buyers these days. Now, some of the homes that are there and maybe they're not the greatest homes or they don't fit quite right, but there's just not a lot of selection for buyers. In fact, I helped a buyer find a home just recently that wasn't even on the market just because we didn't have anything out there. Another agent knew about this listing, somebody who I've worked with before, and so they reached out and let me know about it, and we were able to figure something out between the buyer and the seller, which worked out really good for the buyer. But we can't do that in all cases. We need more homes to actually be out there on the market so that buyers can see that selection because not every home fits everybody. And as a realtor, I want to find the right home for the right person and get everybody matched up as best as possible. And so to do that, we've got to see more houses out there so that we can compare and select the right ones. Now, the other problem with the inventory is because there's not enough homes out there, the home prices are going up. It is a supply and demand situation. So when we don't have enough houses out there, the price gets higher. That's all there is to it. And part of that problem is this next thing. Home sellers are locked into low interest rates. And those low interest rates are making them very unmotivated to get their homes on the market. Because why would you want to turn in a 3% interest rates to turn over and get something that's in the upper sixes or maybe even 7? So they're not wanting to exchange their current house payment for something that's going to cost them even more. And they may not be able to get as much. So we've got a lot of home sellers who are just locked in, and that's contributing to that lack of inventory, which then contributes to higher home prices in all categories. The interest rates going up, lack of inventory create higher home prices. Now, I'm hearing of some agents who are seeing multiple offer situations happening again. You know, we had a lot of that happen back during COVID, and that really jacked up those home prices quite a bit. But now we're starting to see that again. I had a listing not too long ago where I actually had 2 buyers very, very interested in it. And the only reason it didn't actually get into multiple offers is because one of the buyers wanted to wait a couple days and be here in town so they could view the house. I completely agree with that point of view. But the other buyer stepped up and wrote the contract, and then we went under contract because you have to go with what's there. So we're seeing those multiple offers happen again, and that's going to lead to higher home prices. Now, is that going to say that your house is going to get multiple offers? There's no way to tell until you actually put it on the market. But if you have a home that is in a desirable area and you price it accordingly, you could see multiple offers. It's always a possibility. Let's run through a couple sets of numbers real quick in our local area. Maury County, Tennessee, which is where I do probably the bulk of my business. The average sale of home price in March of this year was $475,000. Year over year, that is an 8% jump. It's gone up by 8%, which really is great for a home seller if you're thinking about selling your house, as your home value has gone up. Now, the inventory has gone down by 8%, so we definitely need more houses out there, and the closings have gone down by 15%. So some of that is going to have to do with a combination of the lack of inventory. So if you don't have the houses out there, you can't close them. And another part of that is going to be due to buyer ability to actually close on a house or purchase a house, because the interest rates combined with the high home prices have created that scenario where some buyers can't afford it anymore. And they're opting to rent or maybe hold out a little bit longer. Let's go on to Williamson County and look at some of those numbers. Williamson County's home prices are 7% higher year over year from March of this year to March of last year. That brings it to $1.2 million. So that's actually a 4% increase in their inventory, and their closings have gone down 11%. So again, they do have a lack of inventory for the demand. You can see that there's more inventory than they had this time last year. But it is just not enough because the closings are down by 11%. So you've got to look at those numbers and keep in mind that every one of these numbers is what you call a lagging indicator. So the March closings that happened would have actually been contracted a month, 2 months, and in the case of new construction, maybe several months earlier before it actually closed. So you just keep that in mind. There's a little bit of an asterisk beside all these numbers. So if you're thinking about selling your house this year, analyze your situation very thoroughly and make sure that it's the right scenario for you. If you are just trying to move across town and do just a little in-town move and you've got one of those low 3% rates, it may not be the best time to sell your house for your situation, because if you're at 3%, you're having to opt for 6.5%, you're going to be paying a lot more for possibly the same house, or you're going to get a lot less house in order to kind of do a parallel move. Now, if you're in a scenario where you're needing to move out of the area, say maybe you've got an aging parent that you're needing to go help, or maybe you've got a job change that you have to move from state to state, there's some situations that make complete and total sense to get your house on the market. So if you're thinking about selling your house this year, give me a call. My contact info is in the description of the video here, and we'll walk through your scenario and see if it's actually the right setup for you. We'll check out the comps and see if you can get what you need in order to do what your long-term goals are. So I'm Dave Townsend, realtor here in Middle Tennessee. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.